Another question from Hey, it's AP. Do your characters look different to when you first imagine them and the end result? Well, I have an answer to this, but Jamie, you go first.
Do you mean personality, or do you mean, because you're talking to a writer and an illustrator, do you mean personality, or do you mean like when I draw them? Because they all started as comic book characters and they do look slightly different now, but their character development, nope, they are the same. And the reason why I can say that is because here's your first tidbit, secret, is my three main characters are the three strongest aspects of my personality.
Interesting. Very interesting. So
does that answer the question?
Hey, it's AP says both, which is very interesting. But yeah, that's fascinating.
With artwork, it's practice. And, I've got, you keep getting better over time, and sometimes you make changes. The original character, Wendell, my main character, I had him as a 33-year-old living with his mother, which was really pathetic and scary. And then I realized I don't want him to be that old. Instead, I want him to be a kid and take him through his life. And so that's the one alteration I made from the comic books when I switched over to writing the novels. And so other than that, his age, everything's the same.
Interesting. Really interesting. My characters change. Often the core concept remains the same, but as I go through the story, I realize what I need from them to tell a good story, because I write epic fantasy. So I write big. That means big plot, big character, big cast, big everything, which means that sometimes I will need a character to be something slightly different, or I will go in having a clear character concept. So this was true of my first book. I had a clear character concept for the main character. I had a clear character concept for another main character. And then there was a third main character who kind of started along as a tag along. And I realized that they needed their own arc. So I built them an arc, but I didn't build them a personality. I wanted to see what would happen on that arc. And that arc sort of showed me the personality. It showed me who they're supposed to be. And I'm a big proponent of knowing what you're world building about, knowing what the book is about, knowing the genre, knowing the tone, knowing the message, and being able to double down on that to make sure that you are creating what you intend to create. So by doubling down on that with this character, I was actually able to make something better, because they had an arc, they've made decisions, those decisions post facto made sense, because I went back to my motivations and what I wanted, and I could create a character that really worked and was very different from the other characters, rather than being like this is a character I would never have made otherwise. It would not have occurred to me. But yeah, so it doesn't happen with every character, but I think some characters fall into place later than others. That's my opinion. Anyway, for me.
There's another side to this coin too, is, when we're talking about do things change, we could also be talking about do your characters seriously progress?
True.
Because all my stories they're epic fantasy as well. We were discussing this during the break, is that, my biggest inspiration has always been Terry Pratchett, is Discworld. So growing up reading those things and saying, wait, not only do I love all these different books, they're all in the same world. They can all connect. They have the same back references in that world. That's what I want to do. And so in 1990, I designed this little thing. What could I do and make the story big enough, grand enough, so that I could just write in this world for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, I've quoted it before and I shall quote it again, because my God, this quote is gold. This is Trent Hagenrader, who says the biggest problem he sees with fictional worlds is you can only tell one story in them. A fictional world should be full of stories. You don't have to tell them all. I don't want to scare you, but it should be possible to tell many stories. There should be many people living many kinds of lives in there. As Hefe says in the chat, one world to write them all. That doesn't mean that you have to write everything in your world, but if you want it to feel alive, if you want it to feel varied, there should be progress. Characters should change and grow, and the world should change and grow. Funnily enough, again, I was talking about giving exposition of time passing today. Again, for game masters. So when your characters come back to a settlement, they should feel like time has passed. They shouldn't have a side character walk up to them and go, oh my gosh, it's been 2 years, 7 months and a day since you were last here. They should see that the church that was in construction is now complete. They should see that the woman who is pregnant now has twins. Or if you're doing a grimdark kind of world, they should see that the church has fallen apart, or that the old man is dead now, or something. You should show the passing of time by showing how the world changes. And all of this is sort of implicit within this living world, within this many stories concept, which is what makes worlds feel so iridescent and so real and so authentic to us, I think.
I totally agree. And it's funny because I had a very similar experience with creating Wanted Hero and designing this world, in that it got so big and complex. I realized, oh my goodness, my kids are loving these stories. My kids are talented at writing and at drawing. I've got a 17-year-old daughter who is already an award-winning writer from when she was 16. Professional illustrator as well. She's helped me with clients. And I said, would you be interested in writing in my world? She's like, oh, would I ever? And so her and her sister actually bought 2 of those immortality slots.
Wow.
And they designed an aspect of my world that was so freaking good. I'm going to use it in my next book because it's so good. And so I realized, wait, I can design a world that's so complex, I could actually have other people come and help me write.
Yeah. Yeah, so, absolutely. Absolutely. And
options.
Co-authoring like that can be incredibly inspiring as well.